Today's topic is facial recognition software. I've heard the term before, but how does the technology work?
It extracts the defining features from images of faces and automatically identifies individuals.
We're pleased to have an expert in facial recognition software joining us in the studio today, Professor Yoichi Sato of the Institute of Industrial Science, the University of Tokyo.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Facial recognition technology is evolving so fast.
Yes, it is. In the US, it has been used in criminal investigations for some time now. It's incredibly effective. The power of computers to identify people from their faces is soaring, and Japan is among the world leaders in this area of research.
We look forward to hearing a lot more of your expert knowledge today. But let's start by looking at some applications of facial recognition technology.
This is one of Japan's most popular theme parks, welcoming 8.8 million visitors per year. Facial recognition technology is used at the entry gate. It's for patrons who have an annual pass to visit the park. Visitors look into this box and are allowed through. What does it do? The system automatically determines whether the person's face matches the photo registered for the pass.
It's fun. It makes you feel special. The machine can look at your face and tell if it's you.
But what if you wear a disguise? Our director tested the system. Here is the picture of his face preloaded into the system. He's wearing a hat, a false mustache, and has his chin concealed by a scarf. What happens? He gets a welcome screen. The system could tell it was him. What's especially impressive about this system is how fast it works.
With this facial recognition system, you only need to look into the camera for less than a second for it to verify the face, so the process goes very smoothly.
Facial recognition technology is being used to help victims of the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake. Efforts have been made to return photos washed away in the tsunami to their owners. In the town of Watadi, a tent was set up after the disaster to display recovered photos. People could come and look for theirs. But there were 60,000 salvaged photographs. People found it hard to sift through so many. Little progress was made on returning them to their owners. So all 60,000 photos were digitized and plugged into a facial recognition system. Thanks to this technology, some people have recovered their family photos. This is Tetsuro Suzuki and his wife Takeko. Their family all survived the disaster, but the house where 3 generations of them lived was washed away, along with all their mementos.
Nothing was left.
It was a one-story house.
Everything was swept away. We gave up hope of recovering anything.
But Suzuki didn't give up on hunting for the lost family photos. He happened to spot one photo taken more than 20 years earlier, which had Takeko in it. Based on this photo, the system searched through all 60,000 pictures to find other matches. It discovered many other old photos. In the end, the whole family album was recovered. "152 family photos that had been given up for lost." like this picture of their daughter and grandson taken in front of their home 22 years ago. A precious memory of their family life.
Until we got all these photos back, I never realized what wonderful things they are and how lucky we are to have them. They're real treasures. My grandchildren may not think so, but I took them to my daughter and showed them to her, and she was so happy. But I'm keeping them.
Those are some interesting uses of facial recognition technology.
It's impressive, but isn't recognizing human faces difficult for computers?
Yes, it is. Other biometric identification technologies were developed sooner, including fingerprint and retina scanners. Fingerprints and retinas don't change from day to day. They are always the same, so it's easy to recognize them. But faces are a different matter.
Right. Computers analyze images. A slightly different facial expression could make the computer think it's seeing a different person.
But think of the disaster victims' photos we saw on the video. The system matched the faces of people at different ages and with different expressions.
True. That is a really remarkable technology, the best in the world. It won a global competition for facial recognition software. It identifies people correctly 99.7% of the time.
That's amazing. Let's see what the secret is behind this world-beating technology.
A stunning technology able to identify people's faces almost 100% of the time. The software recognizes faces in a very different way from how we people do. The secret? Homing in on certain parts of the face. What parts? Sorry, that's a trade secret. But the company was willing to reveal just one of those areas, the side of the nose. First, the software converts the photo to black and white. Then it magnifies the side of the nose. The tones of this image are compared to a vast database of faces already processed. Areas in red are distinctive of the individual's face. Areas in blue are in common with many other people. This color pattern is what the software uses to distinguish between people. The software analyzes several other areas of the face in addition to the side of the nose. It pinpoints these facial characteristics with incredible accuracy.
When we look at people's faces, we don't usually look at the side of the noses, do we?
Not really. Let me demonstrate the power of the technology on that previous video. This database contains 150 people. The software will try to identify this man, but he's wearing a surgical mask and hat.
Could it possibly identify him wearing a mask and hat?
You can hardly see any of the face that way.
Let's give it a try. Here's the match.
It matched the face. What could the software be looking at to do that? Was it his glasses?
Because the global competition among developers in this field is so fierce, the secret of how it works has not been disclosed.
Since this type of software is used in criminal investigations, it wouldn't be much use if it couldn't work this way, because criminals often disguise themselves.
Right. The technology to recognize people, despite various changes in appearance, has continued to advance. But the system does have a weakness.
A weakness? So far, it's been so accurate, it seems capable of anything.
Please take a look at this. This face is illuminated from the right. Because the subject is wearing a hat, half of his face is in shadow. Let's see if the software can match the face.
That's not him. It made a mistake.
When computers perform facial recognition, they look at the black and white tones of the image. Since the shadows area appear darker, they obscure the pattern, so the software cannot recognize the face.
So it could take some time before they can overcome this problem.
Actually, technology to solve the problem is already being developed. Let's watch.
The biggest challenge to facial recognition? Shadows. Professor Yoichi Sato of the University of Tokyo has had great success in solving this problem. Here is his state-of-the-art software in action. First, the subject puts on a hat and is lit in such a way that the upper half of the face is in shadow. Then the software tries to match his face against a database of 25 faces. Here is the correct one. But the software picks... Nope, totally wrong guy. Now the software will remove the shadow of the hat. First, the original photo is processed to extract one image with just the contours of the eyes, nose, and other features, and another image with just the shading. Then the shading image undergoes a special compositional analysis, and the shadow of the hat is removed. Now the only shadows are the ones cast by the profile of the face. By merging these two images, a clean photo of the face with no hat shadow is created. Now the software tries matching the face again. This time, it matched the face up with the correct person.
That's amazing. And that was your own research, Professor Sato.
That's right.
The shadows were removed so effectively that the software could automatically recognize the face. How could we humans keep up with technology that is evolving so fast?
By using computers, you can recognize the faces of a very large number of people in a very short time. Humans cannot possibly do that. On the other hand, there are cases where a human would easily recognize a face, but a computer cannot.
How did this technology become so advanced? Was there a driver behind it?
A major driver was the 9/11 terror attacks in the United States. That intensified research in facial recognition technology for law enforcement purposes. When you travel to the US from abroad, they photograph your face at customs and use facial recognition technology. There are security cameras all around in cities. If an incident occurs, the faces in the footage can be matched against those images to identify suspects.
Facial recognition would be very helpful in criminal investigations like that.
We've been looking at the use of facial recognition technology for law enforcement applications, but other uses are also being pursued.
It's in here.
This company developed a facial recognition system that can extract some surprising information from faces. Just stand in front of the camera and it can distinguish people's sex and color code them. That's not all. The software can estimate people's ages from the photo. It pegged the age of this woman exactly. And for the man's age, it was only off by 1 year. The software can guess the ages of more than 80% of people to within 5 years. How is it able to do this? It all starts with average faces by year of age. Images of thousands of people's faces were analyzed to extract the features characteristic of each year of life. Now you may be giving away your age anytime you stand in front of a camera.
Facial recognition software that can tell your age? That's terrible. I'll be hiding from that kind of camera.
Previously, we saw software homing in on features that do not change as a person ages. But here, we see software that homes in on the features of faces at certain ages.
That's right. One sign of age is smile lines.
They're quite a concern for many women.
Facial recognition software is used by dozens of commercial facilities like department stores and shopping malls around Japan. Can you guess why?
Is it for marketing? To track the age and gender of customers?
That's exactly right. Of course, that raises privacy issues. For that reason, the software used by retailers like this analyzes the camera data but does not store the footage.
Stores would probably like to make greater use of this kind of information, but I guess that would raise privacy concerns.
Yes, it would. So the approach right now is not to track the movement of individuals, but to look at anonymized data, such as what sequence of stores was visited by a man in his 30s. That addresses privacy concerns while also contributing to more effective marketing. Having multiple cameras installed allows the software to track and analyze customers' movements.
It seems that you can't really separate facial recognition technology from privacy issues.
As one of the people creating facial recognition technology, I'm really enthusiastic about its potential and the great impact it can have on people's lives. That's why I look forward to seeing the technology develop in the right direction on the basis of everyone involved being fully aware of how it can be used.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
I was glad to be on the program.
Our society may need to make new rules to ensure new technologies like this are introduced in an appropriate way. Technology changes so fast that we need to act with urgency to be prepared for the consequences.